Olumantis,
Sorry, guys, I couldn't.
Olumantis, how market? How do you feel now? Olumantis, all these fake, when they call themselves, give themselves title, when no belongs to them. Wait till you know say you don't be, you go to use them till they rob God. They use them, they save the masses. They use them, deceive the masses. You come out, you say you be which name you give yourself, you say you be pastor. The other one come out, after doing this November, that one saying apostle. By the end of the day, una know say now una call una self. In short, now una they call God, not be God call una. Election where it don't finish. You now Asue Ighodalo and Ighodalo. They begin say they give you money, make you go the lead protest. You say you won't go lead protest for election where it don't finish. And now you won't come wake up again. Say 2024 election. Say you know go where. Waiting Supreme don't talk. Olumatis. So now you come pass Supreme. If Supreme talks something that is final. Supreme is the highest court for Nigeria. Once you don't go Supreme come, all that case don't over. But Olumatis say you no go here. You say you won't go lead protest. How do you feel now? How market? How do you feel? Like, I hope una don't cancel that now. Una don't cancel the protest now. Olumatis, what did they worry yourself? You know they use your sense. If you not still get sense, the mumu usher when you get, they know they advise you. Now this one now go see they say na pastor go they lead people. Can you imagine? This Omila go see the lead people. I don't understand. Why you not continue the protest? Why you can't cancel the protest? Aswe Ighodalo will not say me you go ahead. Or got plan way. He not say me you go ahead. Why would I come cancel that? See, I'm now you don't come expose Aswe Ighodalo. You don't expose and finish. This Mumu Olumatis. See you today now. When they go they advise una go so how they take. You when pastors against say yamu marry woman for. Mumuma. You no fear. You go the petition Egogo. You go the petition not mind them. You go the petition them. Then Martis, you go petition Egogo, you go petition not mind them. Abi, you go petition them. Now you won't lead protest now. Immediately when DSS invites you, they say that's why you the peace for body. You won't begin start crisis for the state. How do you feel now as you DSS invite you? How you feel for that office? Wow, Mumuma. How you feel for that office? You can't say now I go, you won't go petition. Now not mind them. Now you won't go petition. Then they threaten you. Now that you can't say that they threaten you. You when you talk for during campaign, say anybody when they cash for corner, make them beat up. Nobody draw you. Nobody draw you. To your tell you say the protest where you won't lead, they wait for you. Then you go the petition, go the petition on by them. If you don't say that your mama will not train you well, and that your papa will not train you well, now they reborn you. Say they not carry your belly come from outside. Make you go continue the protest. Go continue. Osarodion Ginogion bar when they day for your back, he go run leave you. Make we listen to this Mumuma.
Make it. I couldn't do the live yesterday. You know, this idea, when I got invited by the DSS, it was on Sunday, and they kept calling. So I prepared my mind that I may be staying in the DSS office. I may be detained for like 5 days. And that in itself has its own psychology, all right? Because you're thinking about your children. I've got a 6-year-old boy, I've got a 4-year-old
And now
girl, and my wife
now
it's not particularly like me. She's not, rugged type.
And now
So you're thinking about that and a lot of those psychological. I was prepared for it, but I mean, it's a different thing if you don't have a family, but that's fine. So by the time I on yesterday morning, I had barely slept, on over the night, because of the psychology of the fact that if you don't come back from this DSS, where you they go. Thankfully, the DSS were circumspect and professional enough to know that there wasn't anything wrong with a rally, a gathering. It's our opinion, all right? We feel that the 2000 and last year's election, 2024 election, was not properly conducted. Even when the Supreme Court has taken a decision, we still have our opinion, and we have a right to our opinion. And nobody can begrudge us, for having a right to our opinion. That's how we feel about it. Now we have a right to express it. And what we called it was a rally. We didn't make mention of the state government. We didn't make mention of any. We didn't talk about the governor. We just said, look, we want to commemorate what happened, that they were displeased with. It's our opinion. That's why I think that the DSS was circumspect enough. It just, appealed because a couple of things that happened in Nepal, and everybody was being, conscious of it. So I came home yesterday. I must thank the professionalism and the candor with which the DSS crew, led by the director, spoke, were well received, well treated in spite of the pressures from certain corners, detained them, and all that. But at least we're glad to know that we haven't degenerated to that level where people take actions at the whims and caprices of individuals. It's still democracy and the rule of law. So I couldn't go out yesterday. I mean, by the time I came home, I couldn't do the live yesterday. By the time I came home, I just barely had something to eat, and I slept. That's why a couple of people had come into my DMs, and people had called me. I had to call one of them, Jacob, and he had to say, don't worry, I wasn't rearrested, because we had an experience like that last year where I was arrested, taken to court by the police, granted bail, that day. By the evening, DSS was still calling me. Next day, I had to go to DSS, was interrogated, and I was reporting in DSS office for, a month. I mean, for a month. On every Tuesday, I was going to DSS office by 12 noon. So, how I don't first see, so a couple of things. So I couldn't apologize. I'll be live by 2 p.m. today. I just came back from the gym. I said, why they develop small muscles since APC say they'll beat us anytime we gather. At least maybe me go still self-fit. Maybe I'll feel handle one or two, persons before they go, flatten me for ground. I mean, to think that this is where we have got into, that's fine. That's fine. A couple of people say, but you too, you threaten people last year. The video came out. I was arrested for it. I keep telling people I was arrested for it. Where there's a wrong, there must be a remedy. I was arrested for it. I was detained. I was charged to court for it, detained for it. And I was granted bail. I was going to court very, very regularly until the matter was dispensed of. And more importantly, it was an action that I personally regretted. And I have personally apologized to a couple of quarters, especially my church members. All right. So when people say, "But you self do them now," when the video came out last year, it is the same guys, the same you that condemned me for doing it. All right. But you don't have any problem with somebody else who's doing it. Who's saying such a thing? Because if it was, I used to say we're all hypocrites in this country. Because you're in APC now, it's okay for somebody to threaten, I'll kill you. Even the one with the girl inside, they're supposed to trust God for husband. They say, I will beat you, I'll break your head. So you're telling your husband where you go marry, say, if you marry me in a crisis, our house go there. So we will not use our own hand because of politics, tear our destinies into pieces. All right. So we're all hypocrites in this country. All the people who condemn Olumatun, they threaten, it's okay. All right, because It's Olu Martins. Now somebody else is, people are even saying worse. One person will go, you for, they say when I come out, for you 2x2 plan. And it's like, people will go to school. So it's okay, if somebody who is in your party, if he favors you, it's okay that somebody threatens. But if somebody else threatens, it's not, you are all hypocrites. You all go to hell. And you all liars. That's what, you guys are. But that's fine. The price for leadership is calumny and castigation. And we got to pay the price. We can't leave the field. We can't leave the space for miscreants and nitwits and invalids. Socrates says the price to pay for non-participation is that you're governed by lesser mortals. And there are, lesser mortals everywhere in the political space today, especially in APC. Barely educated people, barely enlightened people. You may not even be educated, but you're enlightened. You've mixed, you've interrogated, you've refreshed your mind, you've renewed your mind. You're a different, person entirely, even in spite of your education, but are barely educated.
Are you going to talk like this? So now you be the mumu person, not be APC people be mumu. Olumatis, what was war? Now you can't be Ozuo now. You world war. We not the every year you clear now. See the position where Asue Ighodalo upon land you put now. Now fear you can't fear now. You go the petition go. You go the petition on my them. You go the petition them.
People, barely traveled people, barely interact people, people who have barely interacted, people who have been, barely exposed, people who have just been in one spot, born here, didn't go to school, you're right here, from Agbero, you had the opportunity to, and there's nothing wrong with, having to start from that level. But if you now want to play at a higher level, you've got to improve the shortest of your mind. You've got to improve yourself. You can't hold a public office. And you're threatening people. I didn't hold a public office. But you can hold a public office as SSA, as SA, and chairman of a party.
Only.
And then you are threatening, you break your head. I can say people, well, you said talk about I was arrested. So if I said it and I was arrested, the police should go after this guy. They should be arrested. They should be interrogated. They should be charged to court. All right. The DSS should also invite them, because what is good for the pregnant woman is also good for the man that gave her the pregnancy. We can't have two laws. We can't have a law that works for people in PDP and have a different law that works for people in APC. That's unacceptable. But let's save our breath. 2 p.m. live on
I go see
Facebook.
one of the 2 p.m. I get them here.
Properly discuss and dissect certain fundamentals and put certain things in the open. So, like Albert will say, get your popcorn, charge your phone, both recharge and charge, both charge and recharge, and then so we can interact and educate us. Nobody is more Edo than any other person. Nobody, there's no inferior Edo man. If you live here, you do business here, you've been here for upward of 2 years, whether you were born here, your parents are here or not, as long as you have a stake here, you are an Edo man, and nobody is superior to you. So nobody can push us and intimidate us and cow us. And simply because you have the backing of government. Where were some of you when Obaseki was in power? Where were you? I mean, so you're not courageous. You're not strong people. Go and talk to people who were strong enough to criticize Oshomole. Strong enough to criticize Oshomole. Go and talk to people who were strong enough to speak out when they disagreed with Obaseki. Many of you didn't see anything. You couldn't see anything. You were in the cooler. So, you have just been in the corridors of power for how long now? For 8 months, and you're even pawns. Even pawns in the whole game. You are. It's now that we'll talk by 2 p.m. And some of you are invited, to come to talk, because I'm used to your talk. All right, fake pastor, pastor.
Yes,
go and face your church.
Now you
go and face your small eatery. You are hungry, and those are period talks of palm wine drinkers that are not educated. The real talk of people will look at the substance of what you're talking about and engage you at that level. So, I mean, it's a country of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And politics is a leveler. So I expect that some of you guys will enter into the live, either as spies or as in the normal, your puerile contribution. It's okay. Leadership must accommodate everybody.
Now, Ole Matis, this tiffy man. Now you come be, I see you, my goddess. I know invite you. You forget. I go nowhere now. Go it. I go. William go Italy. Go nowhere. I send you invitation now. I see you, Mojoko. You too much. See this Ole Buruku. Election wey e don finish. He say na now he won't come begin start protest. He said na now he won't start protest. Yeah, you know the about this now. You know where I go now. You know I told you before. You know where I go now when you say you dey travel. But we did together the day before yesterday now. So yesterday I did tied up. After the walk, I really did tied up. So not see when I take come out now. No 2 days. Oh, only yesterday. Oh, mommy. Now only yesterday. I make I say no. I'm not gonna leave this broker till tomorrow. I go do them today. Now only yesterday, mommy. Only yesterday. Una dey hear this Ole Buroko, this fake pastor wey dey call himself say na Olomatis. Election wey dey carry go tribunal. From tribunal they go appeal. From appeal go land for the highest place wey dey reach supreme. The election is over. Court case is over. This mumu man, this was who when he say na be Olomatis. He say na now he wan start a protest. He say na now he want to start a protest. He begin do banner follow everywhere. He say na now he wan start a protest. You see, Asue Ighodalo just push am this plan wey man. Asue Ighodalo, he just push am. Sekiogiomba, that one wey don japa. They go there where they push this mumu man wey be like woman. So you know na agege man. They just push am, give us more money, make he go lead protest. And so this man begin to bring out a poster. He said na protest now he can't reach his hand. He said he won't lead protest. He said he won't lead protest. Una trust DSS now. Immediately now they call and say, wait till you put for fire wey not done. Wait till you dey lead protest for. Wait till you dey lead protest for. That's why when I come they see the flyer now say, he can say, he go tell Asue Ighodalo say this one don't pass me. Or may you come. He tell Sekiogiomba say, may you come. Make we all gather can't do this. Make we come gather can't do this arrangement. Because the way they see him now, he don't know how he go. Make they come join am. Say only you one no go fit handle this matter anymore. DSS. Una know that place now. The fear of DSS. Una know what that one mean. The next thing when this mumu man can't do, he go the petition, go the petition no mind them. He go the petition them. Waiting no mind they do, waiting go do. Because they tell and say, you say you won't do protest when the election don't finish, what you dey lead protest for? No cause crisis for Edo. Because you all year say governor not there around, you can't say you won't cause crisis for Edo. Or you come out now, make you can't do your protest. We there outside, they wait for you. Now you go petition, go petition, no mind them. You go petition them. This mumuma go and they say yes. So. All right, let we listen to the other video.
All right, good afternoon, guys. Yep, it's about 2:02 where I am. It's 2 minutes after 2. I did promise that I was going to do my live at about this time. So here we are, attempting to interrogate processes, speak to issues. Please do me a favor of sharing this video. Let me thank everybody who's kept faith with us. Thank you. A lot has happened in 24 hours. And you know, 24 hours in politics is a lot of time. So a lot has happened in 24 hours. And probably more will happen in another 24 hours or less or more, But Nigerian politics is dynamic. And Edo politics is particularly volatile. The Edo political space is particularly volatile. And it has been more volatile in the past 10 or so months. So please, let's get on board so we can interrogate issues. Let's get on board so that we can speak to issues and just talk it the way that we see it. That we see it. Let me thank all of those who gave their candid advice when we came out with the poster that we're going to do a memorial rally. Some were critical of it, some approved of it, and some were not too sure as to whether we should go ahead with it or not. Please share this video. Share this video. That is the very erudite Shedraku Dubai watching. Please share this video so that I can get more people. I can get more engagements. Because all that evil needs to triumph is for good men to be quiet in the periods of violence and moral crisis. Yorubas have a proverb. They say, war. In other words, you don't have an elder in the market and picking where you put for back in neck could bend. They will.
If you don't, they had them, they're going to speak their papa dialect. If you don't, they had them, they're going to speak their papa dialect. You hear them now. If he don't, they had them. When I see Asue Ighodalo that way, he don't begin to sweat. He they speak more. They react. He can't begin to speak. When I hear them now, all this one way wrong, lead their papa land. Wrong leader. Where suppose they Ibadan now, they Jebu, they go finish the farm where papa do remain. All of the wrong leave their papa house. They do not buy it. Na iri who we go vaccine. Na iri original who we re coin. Na Edo that they run the con. See now, olu any Edo here. Na Edo pet name be that. God has created the hear me here.
Adjust the neck of the child for you without having to ask you whether they should adjust the neck or not. In this particular case, Edo State is the child at the back, and the Edo State is at the back of the government of APC as led by Monday Okpolo. So if the baby neck they bend for back, we're not going to ask the governor to adjust the baby's neck, because he holds governance in trust on behalf of the rest of us, and it doesn't matter our political coloration, whether you are PDP or APC or you are not aligned. Whoever is governor of the state holds power in trust, is in charge of our common patrimony. So we'll speak to issues, we'll criticize him, we'll extract his policies, programs, and his actions. We will even be concerned about the combination of clothes that he wears. If he's a bad dresser, I will tell him he's a bad dresser. Because on easy lies the head that wears the crown and the face that...
How many criticize when you take criticize Seki Ogiomba? Seki Ogiomba, when they wear coats, he go the trousers go different from the suit. Do not want me to talk to Ramo. We're ready for una. We're ready for
that bears the frown. All right.
That's why we said that when they wear black and black, you never do one video talking about Asans where they wear black and black. Una they hear them.
So we must speak to issues, because in speaking to issues, in getting the process, we're deepening democracy and we're helping the state to advance. If the state advances, it advances for our good. So nobody should look at those who are critical of government or those who are in oppositions as enemies. We are all equal contributors and equal stakeholders to the Edo project. We're all equal. We're all equal. It was Jero that said in his book, Jero's Metamorphosis, the trials of Brother Jero. He says, I am a prophet by birth and by inclination. This is my state. I have no other state to go to. I'm a free-born citizen of Edo State. So nobody is more Edo.
Ghana, Yoruba, your papa come from. Where your papa come from and there you come from. Okay? No play, make you forget your home. You hear? Your partner from Yoruba.
Than me. Especially if those who are threatening hailstone and brimstone are not even aborigines of the state in a manner of speaking. All right? So let's speak to issues. We've got to say the way that it is. We've got to, be, direct with it. We will not fear to negotiate, and we will not negotiate out of fear. Some of the things that we're going to be explaining today are some of the things that we told the director, the Department of State Security yesterday when myself and Shedrack were invited And then we just spoke to the issues directly. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours. And I'm happy that many of you came to my DM and offered me personal advice. Some of your advices were not too palatable. And a couple of people, typical of your level of education or your upbringing, you are very good at throwing gutter language. You are very good at throwing brickbats. No. My father told me when I was very young that intelligent people speak to issues. Unintelligent people are the ones that will abuse you. They will leave the issues and will abuse you. Oh, fake pastor. Fake this. Go and face this. Go and face this. I don't bother. Lord Denning said the price for leadership is calumny and castigation. If you don't pay the price for leadership, you cannot pay that price of calumny and castigation, being misunderstood and abused. He said your chances of becoming a leader is slim. And if you become a leader without paying the price of calumny, castigation, and abuse, he says we have become a leader fraudulently. So we have taken it as a badge of honor for those who disagree with us, who abuse us, who rain curses us. It's a badge of honor. We wear it with pride, because there are those who have shied away from the system, who say they will not engage the system because they are afraid of being called names. In certain instances, some people are even extreme enough to be afraid of being, even attacked at the risk of our own personal comfort and are keeping our personal space. We have stuck our neck out and we have said we must engage the process. The unfortunate thing is that those who called Governor Gwanu Obaseki all manner of unprintable names, including Ogioba and all those kind of things, there was no name they didn't call him, are the ones who are intolerant now of criticism. They don't want to hear you say anything. I remember one of the instances when one of the guys took a rally in front of Government House and was daring Governor Gwanu Obaseki to come down and come and address him if he will not do him something. Nothing happened, to him. But right now, you are even afraid of coughing, so to speak. People don't want to hear you cough. They want to reduce the political space. If you don't support APC, you don't support Monday Okpewolo, they want to consider you an anathema. They don't want to give you space to express yourself. But this is Edo State. And the death of every Nigerian affects me because I'm a Nigerian, I'm involved. Because I'm an Edo man, I'm involved. It was Odume Ojuko that made that statement. Because I'm an Edo man, I am involved. We must all be involved. The majority will have their say, have their way, but the minority must have their say. There are hallmarks of democracy. One of the hallmarks of democracy is free speech, freedom of association, freedom to express your views or not. And if you think that the things that I've said or my actions are ultra biased, you can't take the laws into your hand. The Nigerian police is there, the Department of State Security is there, and there are several agencies whose responsibility is to rightly and legitimately use force to correct any society.
My people, una see that Ogyoba they pay them for body. Una see that word Ogyoba as they pay them for body. Ogyoba ogele jiyan be. Una hear Ogyoba na so put at the right apple for that. Ogyoba all about this. Go explain tire. Ogyoba. Ogyoba.
Or individual anomaly. We cannot degenerate to the gutter where individuals will think that it is their responsibility to attack, even physically, those who differ with government. Very just now, you are in the positions of authority, but it won't last for too long. Very just now, there are people who have even been sacked by this particular administration. Some other people have been left redundant, and they are looking for how to be relevant. Many of them had abused several people. I helped some other people at the jugular, but they are at the background and nobody is listening to them. That's why Chinua Achebe said, if you have been lucky enough for the spirits to crack your palm kernel, you should be humble about it. You shouldn't be arrogant about it. I've asked people, some of these guys who are threatening and doing this and saying this, where were they just barely 18 months ago? They were cowering somewhere. The ones I would respect were those who stood Obaseki to his face and spoke truth to power. Those are the ones that will respect. Not people who are in one corner waiting for their party to get into the positions of authority so that they can exhibit their animalistic, barbaric their barbaric, animalistic upbringing. Those are I will respect the people who challenge Obaseki when Obaseki was there. And there are a few of them who challenged Obaseki when Obaseki was there. I respect the people who spoke up when Oshomole was there. Not people who kept quiet and all of a sudden, because we have political power. I said it before that strong men are not the ones who hide under police, who hide under government. And then you are threatening other people. Strong men are the ones who, even in opposition, can consistently speak out. If not for the support that government gives, if not for the backing that certain security agencies give, if not for the covering that certain people, there is no talk anywhere. That's why what we have is political talk. People who open their chest because of their affiliations to government. None of them can speak outside of government. Ask many of them, where were they before now? They were quietly somewhere. They were not making any noise. But because you have political power now, it's gaga, and you are threatening everybody. How many people, can you, even in the face of military, will they sing, how many people soldier go kill, hey, them go kill us? How much less to say individuals will get one head like you and I? Whatever you want to do, if the rally are held, people have said, oh, we got all kind of security information. Oh, they should shoot Olu Martins. They should do this. They should maim him. Some people even came out in the open. And there are people who are quick to say, Olu Martins, but you threatened other people too. And have made it abundantly clear that we cannot have two laws. There can be a law for the opposition and then a law for the ruling party. There can be a law for APC and the law for PDP. About this time last year, a video came out where some unfortunate, regrettable statements came out of my mouth. And I'm glad that there are people who are watching. I'm glad that my lawyer, Dennis Osaitin, is somewhere. I'm glad that Shedrack Dubai is here. I'm glad that Solomon Idioba, a couple of people who I was in Protea Hotel when I was arrested. So I was arrested for those careless statements, and I admit that they were careless. I was arrested for it. I was detained for it. I was charged to court for it. I was granted bail. The same day I was granted bail, I was invited by the Department of State Security. I reported there the next day. I was drilled seriously as if I was a terrorist. Pictures of me were taken front, back, side. I filled more than a 10-page form consisting of questions, like a questionnaire format, more than 100 questions, including my favorite boxer that I like to wear when I want to have intercourse with my wife. They ask me questions as personal as that. I spent more than 10 hours.
You go explain Taya Ogyonba. We never start to. You don't go petition, then go petition on my day. Where to call they beat you now when you cry? Now cry, you they cry. So this one a confession. See the way they expose us when we settle down.
Hours in the DSS, all right, for those statements that came out in the video. 10 hours in the DSS, and I was reporting at the DSS office every Tuesday for the next 1 month. I couldn't travel far. I had to be at the DSS office 12 noon every day. That was the price I paid for those careless statements that and unfortunate statements that appeared in that video. But today, there is the law. There appears to be people who are enjoying immunity, because the only person who has immunity in this state is the governor and his deputy. But are those who are talking carelessly, raking carelessly, threatening to break people's head, to break people's leg. Nobody has arrested them. So if you say, oh yes, Olu Martins, you don't have the locus standi to speak. I'm telling you, the law, the Latin Martin say, ubi gis ibi remedium. When I made those statements last year, I was arrested. Even though it was PDP that was in office, I was still, even though PDP was in government at the state level, I was arrested, I was detained, I was going to court on a very regular basis until the matter was discharged off. But there are people who are making the same statements like that, and nobody is doing anything about them. Unfortunately, those who condemned me last year for those statements are the ones who are rejoicing, who are praising people who are making this kind of statements to them. I say, hey, now man you be, now man you be, now man you be. That's why I made in my preview, I say we're all hypocrites, all of us, because if it does not favor us.
Quiet last Thursday. If they try what they tried last Thursday, Nigeria will burn. And I will lead it. And I will lead it. You don't behave like that. We are past that stage. If you want to be, you go to court, you wait for the court. I mean, we're not animals. The fact that we kept quiet, I told all of you, you are the one that have something to lose. Do not mean that they should take us for granted. Those people who did it, they refused to arrest them. Rather, they want to come and arrest our boys. Let them.
Mumu Ole Ogiomba Matis. This particular video, wait till you talk put. Wait till you talk put that time. Wait till you talk put that time. Wow. When this your Mumu Seki, they rant. Wait till you talk. Oh yeah.
Also, it is good. Nobody hates any corrupt politician. We only hate the corrupt politicians who are not from our villages. We only hate the corrupt politicians who are not favoring us. But the corrupt politicians who are favoring us, the system that favors us, we don't hate it. We are all hypocrites. So let me thank my fellow comrades, Ogbedo Ifaluyi, Honorable Shedrack Udubai, for not falling out, for not denying the process. We called off that program, not because of any threat. No. Who says he wants to come and attack? He did not leave his head in the house. We have been in the trenches since 1999. I was declared wanted by the Nigerian police in 1999 as a 23, 24-year-old student union president of the very ever rugged and dogged Ambrose Ali University. I was declared wanted as far back as 1999, 2000, when Jimo Yekini was the commissioner of Edo State, now deceased, and Akai Zima was PPRO, who is now moved to the EFCC. That's when I was declared wanted. So we have been in this process for too long. So nobody should think that he's dealing with any soft meats and then you will just shout and then we'll run away. When Jungle was thick in the days of Adams Ali Oshomole, we stood as a stout opposition to him for 5 years without any funding, without any serious partnerships, except for the contributions of our leaders that we subscribed to then. And we stood firmly. We were going to channels, we were going to all stations many times with our own resources. So not be today, don't take where we meet strong. I by this year, by July, a few months ago, I was 51. So I have lived the better part of my life. The life we live now is the other lap of the life. I'm on the other side of 50. So if my fears have reduced, they have reduced drastically. If I die now, nobody is going to say he lived a fruitless life. Nobody will say he survived by nobody. Nobody will say so. There are records. I may not have done what I should have done, but I certainly have some things to boast for which people can say he came, he saw, and he conquered. So when we brought out the information that it was going to be a rally, it was not going to be a protest. We said on the 25th, which is on Sunday, we're going to gather at the ring road wearing sackcloth and ashes as it is biblically prescribed. And a couple of people called me and told me that it was unnecessary. There was no need. Let's look at something more intellectual. Maybe a town hall meeting where we can come out with a document on electoral processes. That's what happened. And by the time we look at the preponderance of opinion, many of whom are friends, many of whom would probably have even liked to come for the outing. But when we saw that the majority of our friends and fans are members of the People's Democratic Party, and
what you call to make you they cry now? Now you say we won't lead protest. APC tell you say, oh yeah, come out, we they wait for you. If they like, they use pangolo to break your head, they use plank to break your head. What did you come they complain for? No, when we not buy person for airport, who anybody hold on? When we not go buy person for airport, who hold on? I be not be not buy person for airport. Our digital governance in the moment police, not be not buy. Who hold on? Election is over. You say that now you won't start protest. You only buruku. You they talk, no evidence. Now only DSS you invite you now. While yours come. You say governor not there around. Since when our election finished, now governor ever come up for the state, we go ever stay like we never ever reach 1 week. If na Sekiogiomba, if na Asue we settle down. Now he did the government. Now he did power. Now 1 year, 6 months, they go take come up for the state. He go say he won't go rest. They spoke by in today. The next day start work. You your year say no day house. You say you now you be the mumu ole boroko gyomba matis. You say you won't lead protest. I don't know what you call the beat you now, what you call the make you they cry. You can't say now on Sunday. Fair or Sunday, special day, Sabbath day. So after church, you will carry all your members, come out, give them uniform, make them wear. You will say that you lead the protest. Wow, that protest, if you not do it, wow, who must to fear?
Those who love Asue Ighodalo, who voted for him, who may not be members of the People's Democratic Party, they were not quite up to the program. We decided to cancel it. We decided to cancel it because in the multitude of cancel, there is safety. We didn't cancel it because some guys, were ranting. We know how to handle some of those issues. We canceled it because majority of people felt, it wasn't necessary to go out, like that. But I think that the greatest pain for some of us is that in the whole of the preparation and build up to when that program was brought in the open, we had no support from our own political party, nobody from the People's Democratic Party called us as to say, this thing that you guys are doing, even though it favors the party in terms of visibility, from last year to now, save for the constant barrage of criticism that emanates from the quarters of Alberto Baze, there hasn't been any critical build-up that has happened there. And then say for the constant analyzing of the thing that government is doing by Honorable Shedrakudu, by Obede Sibo Ifala, and a couple of people. I hadn't even enlisted. In fairness, I had this ethnic bias for Monday. I felt, okay, you know what, this is my brother. All right, let me see how we can support him. But they say that when sand is too much in soup, even the blind man will know. And I just thought that there were too many unforced errors. And I'm worried. I'm worried because it is on the time of, this is the season, this is Asa timing, and the clock is ticking, the meter is reading. Whatever he does today, we count for us or we count against us. So he can't afford to do but excellently. He's not doing it he's not there on his own count. He's there because it's an Asa, it's the time for Asa agenda. Let's look at Professor Ambrose Ali. A lot of negative things in terms of being combated didn't proceed from his mouth because it looks like this governor is more interested in politicking than he is in governance, and we must guide him. We must help him because I'm an Asa man. His success is my success, and they want to come.
This man are your banana thief. Now you, Omila. Now you won't guide Okwewo. That's how these people be. You Omila. Who's scared while I be this one say? I don't understand. So now you now work on the advice the governor. Sometimes I go get confused. Now you work on the advice the governor. Now you work on the guide the governor. You will not feel advice Asue Ighodalo or that plan way. Make you use the money do one thing for his land. Or Asue Ighodalo not get one house for his. Do not advise and make you get one house. You be real criminal. You be real for 120. Oh, you people with the right hand, they really know you well. You are him. Jesus.
Contribute or to contest tomorrow, and somebody should be able to say, when an Asian man was there, this was what he did, this was what he did, and this was what he didn't do. That's why for more than 8 months I didn't see anything. In fact, there are people who are accusing me. I remember Shadrach accusing me. I remember Albert accusing me. I remember a lot of people even telling him that go to APC. If you want to go to APC, go to APC. I had that soft spot for him to say maybe I should help my brother, succeed. But when the complaints and things become rife, I also have the responsibility to guide him and say, say on one sir, you need to focus on governance. You need to leave the tendencies of the party chairman who has a proclivity for crisis and controversy and focus on developing Edo State. Because in the final analysis, when the books of history are open, they will be open, and an Esa man was there, and this was the Esa. What the Esa man did when he was there? We already have the challenge of not having the required number in Edo Central. So what we can hold on to is sterling quintessential performance. Anything short of that, we will be further disadvantaged. So as a people, when we put our heads together, myself, Shedrack, Obedo, Isibo, Ifalui, and then we saw that we're not getting any support from the party. Nobody was calling us. Even Dr. Asue Ighodalo didn't call once to say, okay, what is happening? Can we look at what you guys are doing? Can you reschedule? Can you re-strategize? And all this and that. Nobody called. He didn't also call. So we ask ourselves, can we cry more than the bereaved? Can we be more Catholic than the Pope? He's the head of the papacy. He's the number one citizen of the papacy. If anybody must defend the doctrines of the Catholic Church, it should come from the papacy. And if the papacy is not defended, nobody has what it takes to defend it. So we looked at it and say, why should we put our heads in the guillotine when the dramatist personnel, the individual for which we are standing shorty for in a manner of speaking, have not shown any form of interest? So we said we were going to cancel it. Even as we speak now, even after cancelling it, and after putting it out there that we were invited by the Department of State Security, nobody has called us from the People's Democratic Party. Some people think that I collected money for this program. I was talking to my friend Albert Obaze a few days ago, and I was telling him that I sent a message because I hate to agree. I am afraid to say that in all of this, that Albert may have been correct. Because my challenges are this. If you want to contest to govern a people, one of the things that happens to you is that you have an aspiration. And it was Archbishop Idahosa says, if you have a desire, no, not retire, but refire to acquire your desire. So, and if you didn't have the opportunity to govern, one would have thought that the least that anybody should have done, especially for somebody who has an aspiration, is to continue to engage the political process. This is why I will constantly respect Pastor Osage Ighodalo. He wins or loses election. He is here in the state, engaging the processes. For 5 years, Pastor Osage Ighodalo held the reins of opposition. His house was the gathering point, was the melting point, was the terminus aqua for all of us who were thirsty, all of us who were weary, and all of us who were tired. We usually would retire to his house unrestricted. At the minimum, you will have something to eat. You will have water to drink. But as it stands now, it looks like PDP is orphaned in a manner of speaking, because there isn't a retiring point now. There's no place that you can go to. Nobody is sponsoring opposition. Nobody is sponsoring an opposition, and nobody cares. I mean, look at what is happening with Peter Obi. Like I hate to agree that all of this time maybe Albert had been correct. Look at what happened to Peter Obi. Peter Obi didn't win election, but he continued to engage the process. Because if you don't engage the process after you have lost election, you will start asking yourself, were you truly interested in Edo people, or you were just interested in the opportunity to lead? Because if the opportunity to lead was not given to you, it is weak people that look for positions. Real leaders look for opportunities, and opportunities to serve people, they abound everywhere. What we are doing in the opposition is an opportunity. There's no position. There's no official position for opposition. We are putting our little resources, we are putting our little effort to engage the process for the betterment of the Edo people. So, I mean, I had a conversation yesterday with Dr. Asue Ighodalo. I said, Oga, I have sent you. I said, greetings, sir. This is Sunday. If you can see it on the phone, I don't know whether the light is helping anything, but if you look at it, this is Sunday. Sunday, just the day before yesterday. So Sunday, just before the day before yesterday. I said, good evening, sir. I have sent you several messages on my engagement with Albert in my attempt to defend your person. He said, I haven't gotten as much as acknowledgement, how much less appreciation. And our leader, that is the gubernatorial candidate, just gave me 2 emojis. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Nothing more than that. I said, are you kidding me? And that's all I deserve. Then I went for that to say, I recently put up a program to call to mind the robbery that took place a year ago. The DSS has called me several times to see them tomorrow. No senior official of the party has reached out to me, nor any member of my team. This is a program that should have kept, that will help keep the party and the events of last year in the minds of the Edo people. But at last, it looks like we are on our own. It looked like we're on our own, so we cancelled. And our dear leader, Dr. Asue Ighodalo, just simply said, bro, did you discuss it with the chairman? I said, are you kidding me? So you're not talking about my security. No, but he didn't ask to say, why is the DSS interested in you? Let's first of all talk about your security. He didn't ask me that question. Even now that I'm out of the DSS after the very humane interrogation, nobody has called me. You see, sometimes people just leave political parties and then people be wagging their tongues to say, hey, he wants to go to APC, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. Everybody is in politics for their own individual interests. The interest may be personal, the interest may be communal, the interest may be cultural, the interest may be religious, but there's something that you are looking for, there's something that you are protecting, there's something that you are fighting for, but there's an interest in it. When that interest is not being fed anymore, that's why people leave political parties. I'm telling you as we speak, I don't know if they have called Shedrack, because I can see that he's laughing, maybe they have called him, but nobody has called me to say, how was your adventure with the DSS? Are you good? Are you okay? Because nobody cares how much you know. How do they know how much you care? Nobody cares how much you know. And so if I can't get that kind of even comforting words from the leadership of our party, especially the dramatist personnel, the single individual for which we left our different homes and gravitated the length and breadth of Edo State, I was spokesperson for this party. I was arrested. I was detained. I was intimidated. I mean, a whole lot of things happened. So if we had died in the course of it, that's how our wives will have been orphaned and our children will have had nothing to hold on to, simply because we fought for a cause that we believed in, that the people that we fought for do not believe in. So I just thought, to share a few of our thoughts, to say this was why we called it awful. As we speak, nobody has called me, not one naira has come in to say, oh, for this, we were doing it of our own volition, to say, listen, man, we want to deepen democracy. We want to rattle the government, because since September last year, and since October that it was sworn in, there's been no major activity, there's been no major entropy, no major movement from the political party that has rattled the government. This is the first movement. The only person who has been rattling them very seriously has been Albert. But on our own side, a lot of things have not, happened on our own side. So we said, let's put up an activity together. I mean, if you see a party, if you see individuals who take up initiative, the least you would expect is that the party will reach out to them to say, what are you guys doing? Okay, can you put the thing on our table so that we can examine it together? Because in the final analysis is to advance the cause of the political party. So it is difficult for me to admit that all this time Albert had been correct about Dr. Asue. I still don't want to agree, but the truth of the matter is that if you had an ambition that you wanted to better the lives of the Edo people, and it didn't work out, the least that I think anybody should do is to continue to engage the political process. Nobody is funding opposition. I don't know whether they are funding other people, but as far as I know, there is no organized opposition as far as the People's Democratic Party is concerned. No organized opposition. Nobody is showing interest in the things that we're doing. We're doing it out of personal conviction and out of personal determination that this state deserves to move forward. This state deserves to advance in spite of the threats that we get. Nobody's even asking to say, how can you get protection? Somebody had called me to say, are you sure you will not relocate your family outside the shores of this country, or perhaps outside of Edo State, so that at the least when these things happen, as they will happen again, you don't have to worry about your family? And I've told them that every onlooker in the face of crisis is either a coward or a traitor. And I want to thank all of you who have shown care, genuine care. Even those of you who have abused us, it's all part of the process. Politics is a leveler. There's no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. What we have is a permanent interest, because it's only a ripe fruit that you can throw stones at. If we're not doing something that was making impact, nobody will notice us at all. But because we have gone out of our comfort zone to say nobody is more Edo than any other person, and many people who are, I can't even mention some of their names, who are raking, who are abusing, I can't mention their names because they're either far too junior in age or far too junior in terms of intellectual capacity. So how can I mention XYZ's name? How can I mention XY? They've called my attention to a video that some guy made and ate to the governor. I have not watched it till today. I'm too dignified to go to that level. You, no matter what you say in this development, or this political development that we have found us, I can't hate you. I can't disdain you. I can't become bitter. Instead, I will become better. Because anybody who criticizes you is actually your friend. Because according to Apostle, go and verify. Friend, they tell friends, say, your mouth, they smell. So it is better that it's open rebuke than there is secret love. As a matter of fact, your critics are the unpaid guardians of your soul. People who are telling that your cloth is not straight, you need to iron it, are better off than bootlickers who surround you and are shouting, oh, Edo is shining, Edo is shining. The people who are criticizing you want you to succeed more. So this level of intolerance that the state has degenerated to is unacceptable as far as politics and democracy is concerned. And that's why we're asking the security agencies. We can't generate to the Obesian theory of might is right. It can't be, because at the end of the day, we are all going to be victims. Somebody is stronger than you. No matter how strong you are, even within that your APC, there are internal wranglings, and somebody is stronger than you. A tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye. In less than 6 months, all of us will be blind, including the advocacies, the advocate of a tooth for a tooth and an eye for an eye. It's a free democracy, and people must have a right to express themselves. If the way they express themselves is ultra biased, it's against the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, there are institutions that have been rightly empowered to bring such book to power. Self-help is unknown.
Quiet last Thursday. Yeah. If they try what they tried last Thursday, yeah, Nigeria will burn. And I will lead it. You don't behave like that. We are past that stage. If you want to you go to court, you wait for the court. I mean, we're not animals. The fact that we kept quiet, I told all of you, you are the one that have something to lose. Do not
prescribed. Self-help is alien to democracy. And I'm repeating it again for those who may have come late to this broadcast, because people have constantly said, oh, last year you threatened people. And I said, the video came out. I was arrested. I was detained. I was charged to court. I was going to court regularly. I was reporting to the DSS office regularly. But there was no greater detainment that worried me more than the detainment of my conscience. I felt very sorry about it, because in my work on the political space from 1999 as Student Union President till that last year, I had never been known to make such volatile statements. I've always prided myself. I've always been proud of myself as an intellectual person who was well brought up, who was well trained. So till tomorrow, I feel truly sorry that those statements came out of my mouth. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 28 and 29. Let no evil communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good for the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearer. So maybe it's another opportunity to apologize to those who watched that video and who felt that the statements were beneath me. I truly feel sorry and sober about it, but we've got to move forward. We've got to engage the process. Democracy belongs to all of us. Today you are in power, tomorrow you are not in power. People who gloated and who misused power during the time of Adam Saliu Oshomole, during the times of Governor Baseki, today are not in that position today. So let's be careful, because someday you will be on the other side. And those of us who have decided to embrace opposition, people must realize that it is a responsibility that we are giving ourselves. We can decide to be quiet. We can decide to face our private life. I've got a lot of things, working for me. I've got a beautiful wife that can occupy anybody for 247. Just that afterwards, all I must lay by. Because after spending time with your wife in the other room, there must be something to eat, because virtue will have gone out of you. I have 2 beautiful children who can keep me in my house. I have several other things that I can do. I'm fortunate to come out from a relatively comfortable family background. I've never farmed in my life. I've never had to hustle for school fees. I've never been thrown out of school. I've never lacked in my life. So at the end of the day, I have a family background that can still create a kind of loop or a safe landing for me. But we're doing what we're doing because nobody is more Edo than the other person, and nobody should pretend that he is more Edo than the other person. My parting words will be to the governor of Edo State. Dear Governor Monday Okpewolo, the chances are that you will see this video or that your people will brief you. So I want to make it pop and clean. You are an unwind. You are an Esan man. This is the time for the Esan people. And whatever you do today, posterity will judge you rightly or wrongly. Those who are nudging you to go on, at the festival, when push comes to shove, they will say that when the Esan man was there, this is what he did, this is what he didn't do. You need to be very careful of the party chairman. Either consciously or unconsciously, he inflates the political space and aggravates issues for the political party. So you need to be careful. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to call his name. Everybody are going to call your name, because uneasy lies the head that wears the crown and the face that bears the frown. We want to be proud of you as an Esan man. So you must go out there to be fair to everybody, to give everybody equal representation. Edo North, Edo South, and Edo.
Omila Ogionba Matis, go give your wife advice. Go advise your children. The wife when Pastor Sage Ezeyamu marry for you, make you go there advise them. Now you go there advise your wife. You hear? We hear say your wife know they greet people for church. It's not the greet people. If they ever greet, I know they fit answer. Your children don't get respect. They don't they greet elder. Go advise your children. You go advise your mumu wife when you put for house when you don't even know say now Ogionba money I put for house. Go advise your wife. You hear? Go advise your wife. See them. Now this one be the power. Whose position will settle that will give her that time, self? This mumuma. Whose position you give her? Make una put her for comment section for me. Whose position be the DG? I be the name. Where who position they give her? Then I see my congregate be the try enter this broker. Congregate, you all wait for the next broadcast. I won't close so. Whose position they give this mumuma? Now you work on the advice our governor. I dare you. Wow. Now you call the advice. Who you the advice? Who you the advice? Who you the advice? When I see me say wow. Me, I don't know how they can't turn all this election. They can't change this government, this party that where they can't change out to. I don't understand. You see Papa Shukudi, that one they do you on that side. This one now, he don't come. You have to do you need to know your back. That one come out. He say 100% support for Okpebholo. Now you want to know Okpebholo. Now so I not coming no can know what it can happen. See this mumu now. We got DSS, they don't teach a lesson now. You don't go cancel the protest. Now you can you say that you don't feel advise your wife for house. You never feel advise your children. You will not feel advice as soon as settle down. Your own candidate when you declare and follow will not get one house for a salad. Now you they say now why? Now you know say Okpebholo now why? Okpebholo now why? Now you know say now why? But as soon as settle down when you declare and follow when be on why? You know advice and make it go to renovate Papa house. You know advice. You now they say you get children. Yeah, now so you one of your children, they so age. Now so the other one they so age. Where as well settle down? Where as well settle down? If you not get ways to knack, you know go tell me go do IVS. You know go do that one. With that IVF they call her, no they call her. You know go advise her. Say Ogionba when you dey clap and follow. Why you no go advise her? Ole buluku. Ole. Do they make sure now say Pastor Sage Ezeyamu he do election, he still no win, he still there for Edo there. He there for Edo State there. He did there. Not be married for you. Not be Pastor Sage Ezeyamu give you wife. You feel talk to woman, you get wife before. You don't know so you don't do on your own. You just say as when say dey with you. When I don't go waste that man money. When I don't advise and where say as one settle that we in a PDP member before. Not be say Ogionba force that ticket giver. Not be force and giver. You never come and make your advice like Ogionba say make it come Edo State. Make it come Nigeria. You know, you never advise Sekiogyomba. You can't say now where you won't advise. Now that your mouth now go buy you. Wa sunu. Ah waboa. Wa o wagbon. Ole buruku go Ogyomba again wona again. You know we matis. Wa sunu. You never advise or Sekiogyomba make it carry in yansh, make it shake yansh come Nigeria. You know the shame. And you can't advise of Beworo. This one are testing of the mic. My people, I go see you now for the part 2 of this matter. Una bye-bye. You won't find way. You won't later on now. We go, yes, say you don't come APC. Hey, Salo boy. We couldn't wait for us.